Welcome to the Cenario podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources, extract the most important nuggets of knowledge, and give you that shortcut to being well-informed. You know that feeling, right? When your brain just won't quite click. Deadlines are looming, clarity feels miles away. Or maybe you're noticing those little memory slips, the ones that make you wonder if you're losing your edge. Today, we're digging into a compound that isn't just, another supplement. It's a fundamental building block your brain actually needs to handle these kinds of challenges. We're doing a deep dive into phosphatidylserine, usually just called PS. Now, most nootropics might target one specific thing, right? But imagine a compound that sharpens memory and helps calm your body's stress response, tackling brain fog from two really key angles. That's kind of the surprising power of phosphatidylserine. It's a naturally occurring phospholipid, and it's really gaining traction for serious brain health support. So whether you feel like you're battling brain fog, trying to manage anxiety, or just want that mental edge back, understanding PS could lead to smarter choices for your own mental wellness.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here is just how foundational it is. I mean, it's right there in the brain structure.
Yeah.
And how targeted supplements might offer real tangible support for these common everyday challenges you might be facing. So we'll dig into the science, look at how it actually supports cognitive performance in different situations, and figure out who might benefit the most.
Okay, so phosphatidylserine, PS. Let's start with the basics. For anyone maybe not familiar with it, what exactly is this stuff and why is it so, fundamental for the brain?
Right. So phosphatidylserine, or PS, it's a fat-soluble phospholipid. You find it in really high concentrations in your brain, especially right there in the membranes, the outer layers of your neurons, your brain cells. And it's absolutely vital. It helps maintain the cell structure, keeps it intact, and it supports the communication between those brain cells,
Right.
which is, completely key for healthy cognitive function. Everything relies on that communication.
Communication between cells, got it.
And while our bodies can make a little bit of it, the vast majority comes from what we eat or from supplements. You can find it naturally in foods like soy, white beans, egg yolks, organ meats too. But here's the thing, it's actually pretty much impossible to get those therapeutic levels, the amounts used in studies, just through diet alone, especially if you're aiming for specific cognitive or stress benefits.
Okay, so diet helps, but probably not enough if you're looking for a real boost. You mentioned it's crucial for brain structure, but you also talked about stress and staying calm earlier. How does PS help with that? That seems like a really direct benefit.
Yeah, and this really gets to the heart of how we, manage stress physiologically. One of the most compelling benefits of PS is its ability to actually blunt the release of cortisol.
Ah, the main stress hormone.
Exactly, that
Yeah.
primary stress hormone. Research pretty consistently shows that taking PS can lower the cortisol response you have to both physical stress, like exercise, and mental stress.
Interesting. Is there specific research on that, like numbers?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For example, there was a good randomized double-blind study, really the gold standard. It found that taking 800 milligrams of phosphatidylserine per day significantly reduced the cortisol spike after intense exercise in men. So this makes it potentially really useful for people dealing with chronic stress, maybe feeling burnt out. It's almost like helps turn down the volume on that constant stress signal.
Right, like giving your system a bit of a break from that heightened state. That makes sense. Okay, calming the stress response definitely helps mentally. But let's talk memory. That's something so many of us are always trying to keep sharp, right? How does PS specifically help the brain form and recall information? What's the mechanism there?
Well, PS plays a really critical role in memory, both forming new ones and retrieving old ones. It does this because it directly supports something called synaptic plasticity.
Synaptic plasticity. That's the brain's ability to change and adapt its connections.
Exactly. It's the brain's incredible ability to form new connections between neurons, strengthen existing ones, and even reorganize them. Think of it like improving the wiring quality in your brain. And this means it might be especially helpful in, say, preventing or slowing down age-related cognitive decline.
Okay, so it's not just a temporary boost, it's helping the underlying structure.
Precisely. And we've got good clinical evidence for this too. Studies in older adults who had memory complaints found that taking PS supplements, usually around 100 to 300 milligrams per day over about 12 weeks, led to actual measurable improvements in memory tests and recall tasks.
That's significant.
Yeah, so it makes it promising not just for seniors, but really for anyone looking to boost their cognitive function. or just fight off that mental fatigue, students, professionals, you name it.
And what about focus? That feeling of brain fog, struggling to concentrate through a long day? We all know that one. Can PS help cut through that fog?
Absolutely. There's definite potential shown there. PS seems to help improve attention span, how quickly you process information, and overall executive function.
Executive function. That's like planning, organizing, getting things done.
Exactly that. Your brain's CEO, basically.
Mm.
Athletes and students often use PS specifically for that mental edge, especially when they're under pressure.
Any other specific groups?
Well, some studies, though maybe needing more research, even suggest it might help reduce some symptoms of ADHD in children, and generally improve performance on tasks that need you to stay focused for a while. So if you step back and look at the bigger picture for brain health, it offers a potential tool for anyone needing that sustained mental clarity, that sharper focus. It's almost like PS helps your brain cells communicate more clearly, cutting through the static we all get sometimes, whether it's from lack of sleep or just information overload.
That's a pretty powerful set of benefits: stress, memory, focus. But, the market is flooded with brain supplements. What makes phosphatidylserine really stand out? Is its mechanism different from other nootropics people might know?
That is an excellent question, because you're right, there are a lot of options. I think the key difference is that while many nootropics might target, say, specific neurotransmitters like acetylcholine or dopamine or maybe boosting blood flow, PS is unique because it's a structural component. It's part of the actual architecture of the cell membranes, especially in neurons.
So it's not just tweaking the signals, it's improving the hardware itself.
That's a great way to put it. It's optimizing the very structure that supports all brain function. And its direct role in moderating cortisol, that stress hormone we talked about, is also a pretty distinct advantage. Many other cognitive enhancers don't really touch the stress axis directly like PS does. So yeah, it's working at a deeper, more fundamental cellular level.
Okay, that distinction makes sense. So given all that, who specifically might see the most benefit from adding PS to their routine? And practically, how should someone approach taking it? Dosage, timing, that kind of thing.
Right, the practical side. Well, generally, phosphatidylserine is considered very safe and well tolerated. It could be particularly beneficial for you if you're experiencing chronic stress, maybe you have high cortisol levels, or if you're dealing with age-related memory decline, those noticeable slips. Also, anyone really looking to improve focus, learning, and productivity, students, professionals under pressure. People may be diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment or MCI, which is that stage between normal aging and more severe dementia.
Okay, so quite a range. Athletes, too, you mentioned.
Yes, athletes, or really anyone under significant mental or physical pressure. It can fit really well into a daily supplement stack if your goals are around stress, cognition, or fighting mental fatigue.
And dosage, what's typical?
So most of the studies showing effects use amounts ranging from 100 milligrams up to 300 milligrams per day. Often this is taken in divided doses, say, with meals. A common recommendation is maybe start lower, like 100 milligram daily, see how you feel, and then you can gradually increase if needed based on your response.
And safety-wise, any concerns with taking it long-term?
Generally, no. At those recommended doses, it's considered safe for long-term use. Side effects are pretty rare and usually mild, if they happen at all. Maybe some minor digestive upset like bloating, or very occasionally some insomnia if you take it really late in the day.
Why insomnia?
Probably due to its slightly energizing or focus-enhancing effect for some people. So taking it earlier is usually better. And of course, the standard advice. Always a good idea to check with your healthcare professional before starting any new supplement, especially if you're pregnant, nursing, or taking other medications, particularly blood thinners, as there could be interactions.
Right, always smart. Now, what about different forms? I think I've seen soy-derived PS and sunflower-derived PS mentioned. Does it matter which one you choose?
Yeah, that's a good practical detail. You will see both. Functionally, they are chemically very similar and should be equally effective. The main reason to choose one over the other is usually allergies or sourcing preferences. If you have a soy allergy or sensitivity, or if you just prefer to avoid soy or want a guaranteed non-GMO source, then look for sunflower-derived phosphatidylserine. Otherwise, soy-derived is often more common and might be slightly less expensive. But effectiveness-wise, pretty much the same.
Good to know. And timing. You mentioned avoiding it late at night.
Yeah, best practice is usually morning or maybe early afternoon. That way you get the benefits during your active hours and minimize any potential interference with sleep. Now, if you're using it specifically for, say, managing acute stress, like before a presentation or after a really demanding workout, Taking it during or right after that stressful period could also be beneficial.
How long does it usually take to notice effects? Are we talking days, weeks, months?
It varies a bit depending on what benefit you're looking for. For the more general benefits, like maybe improved mood or feeling a bit less stressed, some people notice changes within, say, 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use. For the more significant cognitive improvements, like noticeably better memory or sharper focus, it might take a bit longer, typically around 6 to 12 weeks for those effects to become more apparent as your brain cells adapt.
So patience is key, especially for the cognitive side.
Definitely. It's supporting underlying brain health, which takes a little time.
Okay, it sounds like there's quite a bit of solid research backing these benefits, but, no supplement is perfect for everyone. Are there any caveats? Populations where PS might not be as effective, or areas where the science is maybe still evolving? What should listeners keep in mind?
That's a really crucial point to bring up. Transparency is important. While the research is quite robust for its main established benefits like cortisol reduction, memory support in older adults, or those with MCI, stress resilience, it's not a magic bullet for absolutely all cognitive issues. For instance, in more severe neurological conditions like Alzheimer's, its role is likely supportive, helping with symptoms, rather than being a cure or stopping the disease progression itself.
Okay, so manage expectations depending on the context.
Exactly. And while those studies on children with ADHD are promising, as I mentioned, we probably need more large-scale trials to be definitive there. The vast majority of the strongest research has been done on adults, particularly older adults experiencing some cognitive decline, and on individuals under various kinds of stress. So it's really about understanding its specific strengths and where the evidence is strongest, rather than thinking it's a universal fix for any brain complaint.
That context is helpful, but overall, the research base seems pretty solid for those core areas.
Well, absolutely. Phosphatidylserine has been studied for decades, really. Subject of dozens of peer-reviewed studies. There's a study back in 2008, I think, in Nutrition Research that specifically showed PS's positive effects on attention and mood in healthy adults. That's key. And as we discussed, there have been several well-designed clinical trials looking at stress reduction and cortisol regulation, particularly in athletes and otherwise healthy people under pressure. So yeah, considering the full picture, its effects on cell structure, communication, stress hormones, memory, its broad applicability for supporting daily mental well-being is actually quite impressive.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for you, the listener? If you find yourself navigating that daily stress, maybe feeling more forgetful than you used to, or just dealing with that general mental fatigue, phosphatidylserine seems like it could offer some genuine, natural, science-backed support. And it tackles these things from a few different angles, which is interesting. By improving how your brain cells talk to each other, directly helping to manage cortisol levels and supporting memory functions, it really does feel like a more holistic approach to mental wellness, doesn't it? It goes beyond just a temporary surface boost, so whether you're that student cramming for exams, a busy professional juggling endless deadlines, or maybe just someone who wants to stay sharp and feel calmer as you navigate life, understanding how a fundamental compound like PS works, how it supports your brain's own processes, can be incredibly empowering for achieving that sustained mental performance we're all looking for.
Yeah, and it really raises an important final question for you to think about. In this world we live in, with constant information overload and ever-increasing demands on our mental energy, how might strategically supporting our brain's natural functions, maybe using compounds like phosphatidylserine, fundamentally change your personal approach to achieving not just peak performance, but sustained mental well-being day in and day out? Something to consider.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.